Hello everybody, today in this video we are going to be talking about the infamous topic of increasing your range on a brass instrument. So let me start off with a few things that don't work. Number one, getting a new mouthpiece. Oh, if I just get a smaller mouthpiece or this new great mouthpiece that they're advertising, my high range will go by 2 octaves. Doesn't happen. It just doesn't. Equipment can only do so much, and if you get a tiny mouthpiece, your low range is going to suck. So that's number one. Number two, just jamming the horn into your face. I know it's really easy to just try to jam it in and pop out the high notes, but it doesn't work. If anything, it just cuts off the buzz and keeps you from playing at all. So that's number two. And number three is just tensing up and trying to squeeze it out. It just doesn't work. Same thing with jamming the horn into your face. If you tense up too much, your lips just won't vibrate. And even if they do vibrate, you're not going to get a good sound. So with that out of the way, that's what not to do to try to increase your range. And so now on to what to do. I will, in this video, I'm going to be sharing the absolute secret to playing high and playing low. Surprise, it's the same thing. So the secret to increasing your range on both ends is air. So, yeah, it's air. And thanks, see you next, sorry, kidding. So, I'm sure you've heard it before. I'm sure your band directors and your private lessons instructors have talked to you guys about just more air, less pressure, less tension, all that. And you've probably tuned them out after a while. I know I kind of did, but it really is all about the air. When you're trying to play higher, you want really fast air, and when you want to try to play low, it's much slower, broader air. So an analogy I like to use with my students that they generally find helpful is when you're trying to play high, think about blowing through a straw, and just getting really fast air through a small hole, which as you're playing higher, your aperture is going to be more narrow. So that will help with the airspeed, but it's also going to take a lot of engagement down here to really send the air out. So that's for playing high. For playing low, think about like a paper towel tube, like the cardboard tubes inside of a paper towel roll. They're like that big around, and if you put your mouth around it and blow, it's just really broad, wide, slow air. So that those are the two different types of air that you use for high and low. Regardless of where you're trying to play it, just lots and lots of air support. So as far as ways to kind of develop your ranges, one of my favorite things to do is arpeggios. So after I've started just getting my face going in the morning, one of the things I generally do pretty much every day is a major 7 arpeggio series, just going up and down chromatically. So I generally start on B flat. I start there, but for the sake of this, I'll start up on G. So you see, as I get up towards the top of that, I'm just really singing it out, just super relaxed, just allowing the air to do the work, not tensing up at all. My hope is it's a really free sound. So yeah, just working on arpeggios really help us to connect the comfortable and easier kind of middle relaxed range to the high range that might not be so easy, but we still want to take that relaxation and just the nice quality of the air and just sing it up there. The air just speeds up as we go up. And then same thing with going down. As I'm going down, I'm just opening up and slowing down my air. So for the D above the staff to below the staff. And same thing here, just working on connecting that middle range to the lower range, which for some of us a D below the staff might be getting into the really extreme low range, which the more you do exercises like arpeggios, and I wouldn't do a ton of buzzing down there, but I would encourage you to do a little bit, just to kind of overtrain a little bit. But I wouldn't spend too much time doing that, because as you get into the more extreme ranges, buzzing does become increasingly different from what it actually feels like when we're playing. So arpeggios, you could do some other sequences. Like one of the ones that I like for low range, this is all with my left thumb, or for euphonium players, your left index finger, or for 3-valve instruments, just 1 and 3. So just working on staying nice and relaxed, and just relaxing my air out through the instrument through all that, and going down into the pedal range. For the 3-valve people, you'll after you go down to 1, 2, and 3, you'll kind of be at the bottom of what you can do with quote unquote real notes. But I would definitely encourage you to kind of lip the pitch down. So I'm still in 7th position, second with the valve, or 1, 2, and 3. I'm just lipping the pitch down to get that E flat there. So I would encourage you to do that, and go as far down as you can, and try to push that down, because the more you can do that, the better you'll be able to move your air, the more comfortable that range will be, as well as your mid-range. And then I'm sure that your private lessons instructor, or your band director, or whoever it is, has told you that if you have a good low range, it's going to be easier to have a good high range, which it sounds kind of counterintuitive. It's like, why would I work on my low range if I just want to play high? But as we work on our low range, our ability and our comfort with using a lot of air and just really blowing our air, it just skyrockets, and we're much more comfortable with using a lot of air. So when we go up high and we need to use a lot of air, or use really, really fast air, then it's not quite as foreign to us. So another thing, for going both ways, but especially when you go high, because it's going to be really tempting to be like, all right, I can play a G comfortably today, so tomorrow I'm going to go for a D. It doesn't work. It's going to take time. It's going to take time to build up the strength here, and figuring out how to use your air properly. So just go a little bit at a time. If you have a nice solid G today, go for an A flat tomorrow. So just do simple slurs between the two. That's an A, isn't it? No, it's not. Just nice, comfortable, nice, relaxed, just singing it out, blowing the air between the notes. All the things that you've heard many, many times before, and just go a little bit at a time. That major 7th arpeggio thing that I told you about earlier is also really good for here. Because it gets that half step motion and connecting it from the middle range. And then same thing going lower. If you can comfortably play a D flat, then go for a C tomorrow. just if you're a trombone player, it's really easy. Just kind of gliss down. If you're not, I would encourage you lip bend it down and then add in the vowels. One last thing about playing low and something to work on there. Whoever's in the practice room next to you, or your parents, or whoever's going to be in the general vicinity of you, they might not appreciate this advice I'm about to give you. But one thing I've found in working on my low range is that once you can play loud with a good sound comfortably in the low range, then making it softer is much easier than going the opposite direction. So as a bass trombone player, it's quite fun for me to just crank out some low notes really loud. And like people walking by the practice room probably think I'm a bit crazy and like, oh man, these bass trombone players. But it really does help. So just because once you can do that and control it, because it's gonna be really easy when you're starting out for that to be like and just be all over the place, not in control. But just continue working on it. Continue just moving your air, relaxing down there. And it's, again, playing loud, just like playing high and playing low, is all about the air. So I hope that that all of these things were helpful, or at least some of them were helpful. If you have any questions about playing high or low, or any specific issues that you're having, I'd be happy to work with you all individually. And for those of you who I'm not already teaching, I'm looking forward to working with you.